You want to be a great leader, start with empathy. You want to be a great leader, change your perspective and play the game you're actually playing.
You don't have to be happy every day, but you can be fulfilled every day.
What vulnerability means is you create an environment in which someone feels safe enough to raise their hand and said, I don't know what I'm doing.
So I think the whole concept of searching for happiness or searching for the job that you love or searching for love is completely misguided. It's finding an area where you could work hard at it and then you have to work hard to keep it.
These are no longer peaceful times, and those models cannot work today.
It's not about being in charge, it's about taking care of those in your charge.
We don't always have to be right. We don't always have to be in charge. We don't always have to be the one who succeeds. We keep saying to them, you're the future leaders. We're the leaders now. We're in control. What are we doing?
You will be told your whole life that you need to learn to listen. I would say that you need to learn to be the last to speak.
How do I help my people be at their natural best?
You must understand from where they are speaking, why they have the opinion they have, not just what they are saying.
Leadership is not a rank. Leadership is not a position. Leadership is a decision. Leadership is a choice. It has nothing to do with your position in the organization. If you decide to look after the person to the left of you and look after the person to the right of you, you have become a leader.
Now, who are you going to ask for help, and when are you going to accept help when it's offered?
And so we've literally created cultures in which every single day, everybody comes to work and lies, hides, and fakes. There's no winning the game of business. The infinite player isn't playing to be number one every day with every product. They're playing to outlast the competition. How do we advance our cause more efficiently, more productively than we did yesterday?
The world is too dangerous and the world is too difficult for you to think that you can do these things alone.
Empathy is being concerned about the human being, not just their output.
You want to be an elite warrior. It's not about how tough you are. It's not about how smart you are. It's not about how fast you are. If you want to be an elite warrior, you better get really, really good at helping the person to the left of you and helping the person to the right of you.
One of the things that we have to remember, and I think young people don't realize this, is when someone gives you a shot, when they decide to put you on a stage and give you a microphone, or if they give you a job, or if they open a door for you or make an introduction for you, you don't have to prove yourself because you've already been vetted. Somebody else has already said, I mean, you see this in new employees all the time. The company Chanel, they have this rule that I absolutely love, that new senior executives are not allowed to speak in meetings for the first 90 days of their employment. They want you to shut up and listen. And the reason they do that is because new employees so often feel they have to talk in every meeting to prove that you made the right choice to hire them. Like, we know you're smart, we hired you.
When life knocks you down, when the path is unclear, that's not the end. That's the beginning of something greater. God's purpose for you is bigger than any failure, deeper than any fear. Don't just chase success, chase significance. Believe that every delay, every detour is divine direction. Faith is not just about where you're going, it's about trusting who's guiding you. Walk with purpose, speak with faith, and never, ever give up, because His plan is greater than your pain.
So you're dealing with an addicted generation.
This is a big time bomb ticking.
These kids who commit suicide, you go look at their Instagrams, you would have no clue that they were depressed. But if you wake up and you check your phone before you say good morning to your girlfriend, boyfriend, or spouse, you have an addiction. And like all addiction, in time, it'll destroy relationships, it'll cost time, and it'll cost money, and it'll make your life worse. So you're dealing with an addicted generation.
This is a big time bomb ticking.
It will get really worse, okay? So combine that with the fact, so you have an addicted generation that doesn't have the skill set to ask for help. Combine with the fact that they're so good at Facebook and Instagram, they're good at putting filters on everything. So they're good at showing you how smart and strong they are. These kids who commit suicide, you go look at their Instagrams, you would have no clue that they were depressed because they're happy and they're star athletes, right? You'd have no clue because they're really good. So when we say silly things like, my door is always open,
You're assuming they have the courage to come in. Combined with the fact that they're subject largely, not all, but too many, to a failed parenting strategy. Because their parents told them they were special, they could have anything they wanted, they could be anything they wanted. They got medals for coming in last. The kids got into honors classes not because they deserved it, but because the parents complained. And some of them got good grades not because they earned them, but because the teachers didn't want to deal with the parents. And then the kids graduate college, and they get a job, and in an instant, they find out they're not special. They don't get anything for coming in last. The parents can't get them a promotion, and you can't have whatever you want just because you want it. And in an instant, their entire self-image is shattered. And so you have an entire generation growing up with lower self-confidence than previous generations. So you have lower self-confidence than previous generations, combined with an inability to ask for help with things that you're struggling with, and you turn to social media or device, you keep checking, you count your likes, you count your likes, you count your followers, you count your followers, and if somebody unfriends you, oh my God, it's trauma. We're growing up in a Facebook, Instagram world. In other words, we're good at putting filters on things. We're good at showing people that life is amazing even though I'm depressed. And so everybody sounds tough, and everybody sounds like they got it all figured out. And the reality is there's very little toughness, and most people don't have it figured out. So you have an entire generation growing up with lower self-esteem than previous generations. Now let's add in technology. We know that engagement with social media and our cell phones releases a chemical called dopamine. That's why when you get a text, it feels good. Dopamine is the exact same chemical that makes us feel good when we smoke, when we drink, and when we gamble. In other words, it's highly, highly addictive. When we commit ourselves to some higher purpose, some higher cause, passion is the result. When we work hard for something we don't believe in, it's called stress. When we work hard for something we do believe in, it's called passion. Passion is not the entry point, it's at the exit point. So the question is not to find your passion or find the thing you're passionate about. The question is, what do you believe? Who is articulating a vision of a world that you would like to live in? Push yourself in those directions, be around those people, and what you will find is you show up every day with passion. You have an entire generation that has access to an addictive, numbing chemical called dopamine through social media and cell phones. They don't have the coping mechanisms to deal with stress. So when significant stress starts to show up in their lives, they're not turning to a person, they're turning to a device, they're turning to social media, they're turning to these things which offer temporary relief. We know, the science is clear, we know that people who spend more time on Facebook suffer higher rates of depression than people who spend less time on Facebook. If you're sitting at dinner with your friends and you're texting somebody who's not there, that's a problem. That's an addiction. If you're sitting in a meeting with people you're supposed to be listening to and speaking, and you put your phone on the table, face up or face down, I don't care, that sends a subconscious message to the room that you're just not that important to me, right? That's what happens. And the fact that you cannot put it away is because you are addicted, right? If you wake up and you check your phone before you say good morning to your girlfriend, boyfriend, or spouse, you have an addiction. And like all addiction, in time, it'll destroy relationships, it'll cost time, and it'll cost money, and it'll make your life worse.